What if I told you there's a way to make your garden look alive and beautiful every single day of the year, even in the middle of January when most yards look like skeletons of bare branches? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the shocking truth. In Zone 8B, your garden never has to take a break. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked through a neighborhood in winter and wondered, how is it possible that one house looks lush and full of life while the others look completely dead? The difference isn't luck. It isn't hours of daily work either. The difference is one simple secret: evergreen shrubs. Now, most beginners make one huge mistake. They think gardening is all about flowers, roses in spring, tulips in fall, hydrangeas in summer. But here's the problem with that: flowers come and go. They bloom, they fade, they disappear. And what's left? A yard that looks empty for months. But there's something that beginners miss, and I'll reveal that in a minute. Stick with me because in this video, I'll show you the best evergreen shrubs for Zone 8B, plus the insider care tips that keep them thriving all year. And trust me, one of these shrubs has the power to transform your entire garden with almost no effort. So why are evergreen shrubs such a game changer, especially in Zone 8B? First, let's bust a myth. Most people believe gardens die in the winter. Trees lose leaves, flowers vanish, and suddenly everything looks gray. But Zone 8B doesn't play by the same rules. Thanks to its mild climate, you can grow plants that hold their leaves and structure no matter what month it is. Think of evergreen shrubs as the skeleton of your landscape, the strong frame that never disappears. Flowers are like clothing. They change with the seasons. But without bones, there's no structure. Without evergreens, there's no year-round beauty. And here's where it gets better. Evergreen shrubs are some of the most low-maintenance plants you can grow. Once established, they don't demand constant watering. They don't collapse in winter, and they don't leave you embarrassed in front of the neighbors. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so evergreen shrubs are important, but which ones should I plant in Zone 8B? That's exactly what we're getting into next. But be careful, because not every shrub is created equal. Some will just sit there, while others will completely transform your yard into a magazine-worthy landscape. Let's dive into the stars of the show, the best evergreen shrubs for Zone 8B. First up, Magnolia Little Gem. Now you might be thinking, wait, aren't magnolias huge trees? Yes, but the Little Gem is different. It's compact, manageable, and perfect for smaller yards. Picture glossy, dark green leaves that shine in the sunlight and those classic white, fragrant magnolia blooms. The magic of this shrub is that it gives you the elegance of a full magnolia tree without taking over your entire yard. In summer, it perfumes the air. In winter, it still looks stunning and polished, unlike most plants that turn scrappy. Next, Viburnum Suspensum. This one is a total workhorse. Want privacy? Done. Want a thick, lush hedge? Done. Viburnum Suspensum is dense, dependable, and thrives in Zone 8B's mild winters. You can use it to create natural fences that look way more attractive than wood or vinyl. And while it doesn't scream for attention, it quietly adds texture and subtle beauty year-round. Beginners often overlook it, but seasoned gardeners know this shrub is one of the most reliable players in the landscape game. And now, my personal favorite, Camellia Sasanqua. Here's the shrub that will shock your neighbors. While everything else is bare, your yard will be bursting with flowers in early to midwinter. Bright pinks, deep reds, crisp whites, imagine all that color when most gardens look depressing. This is why Camellia Sasanqua is a must-have for Zone 8B. It doesn't just stay green, it puts on a full show in the dead of winter. But here's the question: which of these shrubs is the ultimate one for you? Is it the Little Gem for fragrance, Viburnum for privacy, or Camellia for winter color? Hold that thought, because the answer depends on your specific garden goals, and I'll help you figure that out shortly. By the way, there's one huge mistake people make when planting these shrubs, and if you do it, your evergreens could struggle or even die. I'll reveal what that mistake is in just a minute, so don't miss it. Alright, let's talk about making your evergreens thrive. Remember that huge mistake I mentioned? Here it is, planting in the wrong spot. People forget the golden rule: right plant, right place. For Magnolia Little Gem, choose full sun or partial shade with well-draining soil. Don't tuck it into a dark corner. It loves the spotlight. For Viburnum Suspensum, it's your best friend for property lines. Give it space to grow wide and bushy. Full sun to partial shade is fine, and once it's established, it's tough as nails. For Camellia Sasanqua, this one's picky about soil. It thrives in slightly acidic conditions and it appreciates partial shade. Think under taller trees or against a wall that gives it some afternoon protection. Now watering. The trick is deep and infrequent. At first, water regularly to help roots establish. But once these shrubs settle in, they don't need babysitting. In fact, overwatering is a bigger danger than underwatering. And pruning, don't skip it. Light pruning keeps them shaped, encourages blooms, and stops them from looking messy. The goal isn't to hack them down, but to guide their growth. So here's the rule. Put the right shrub in the right place, water deeply but not constantly, prune lightly, and you'll have a landscape that basically takes care of itself. Now let's be real, even the best evergreen shrubs for Zone 8B can face problems. But don't panic, solutions are simple. Yellowing leaves? That's often chlorosis caused by poor drainage or lack of nutrients. Fix it by improving the soil or adding the right fertilizer. Pests? Evergreens are pretty tough, but sometimes scale insects or mites sneak in. Instead of harsh chemicals, go for horticultural oil or insecticidal soap, safe and effective. Weather surprises? Yeah, Zone 8B is mild, but the occasional frost or heat wave still happens. The trick? Mulch. A 2-3-inch layer around the base protects roots in both heat and cold. And if a sudden frost hits, a frost cloth over younger shrubs works wonders. Remember this, problems will happen, but they don't have to ruin your garden. Once you learn the signs and solutions, your evergreens bounce back stronger. But before we wrap up, let me show you how to use these shrubs as the secret weapon for creating a year-round design that always looks alive even when the neighbors' yards look dead. Think of evergreen shrubs as the bones of your garden. They create structure, shape, and stability. Then you layer on seasonal color with flowers, perennials, or even annuals. This combination gives your yard depth and personality. Without evergreens, your garden is just temporary flashes of color. With them, you have a foundation that never goes away. So whether you choose Magnolia Little Gem for elegance, Viburnum Suspensum for privacy, or Camellia Sasanqua for winter magic, start planning today. Because why settle for a garden that sleeps half the year when you can create a landscape that shines all 12 months?